I love when it's Cameron. Welcome to another video. Now today is this video is quite a special one because I know I'm a day late with this video, but in this week in 1954, July 5th to be exact, Elvis went into the studio where he recorded his first ever single, and it was released on the Sun Records label. So I'm going to go over a bit of background behind the recording and even the song, to show you some releases that came from it and just the impact it had, because this is quite a pivotal song, and this was like the first recording Elvis. This is how people became aware of Elvis, even though he later became known as the King of Rock and Roll with Heartbreak Hotel, Hound Dog and those sort of songs. This song kind of almost paved the way into the artist he would become. So we're gonna talk about the history. So the story of this recording really goes back to July 1953, where a young 18-year-old Elvis Presley was driving trucks around Memphis, and he'd made a visit to the Memphis Recording Service in Union Avenue in Memphis, where he recorded An Acetate of My Happiness and That's When Your Heartaches Begin. He later claimed that he'd intended the record as a birthday gift for his mother, or that he was merely interested in what he sounded like. But however, the Elvis biographer Peter Gurnlink, argued that he chose Son in the hope of being discovered. After that, he made a visit in the January of 1954, a mere 6 months later, and recorded I'll Never Stand in Your Way, and It Wouldn't Be the Same Without You. And those acetates would see releases on things. My Happiness would see released on this album, The Great Performances, in 1990, and I'll Never Stand in Your Way saw release on this box set, Platinum: A Life in Music, while That's When Your Heartaches Begin saw release on the Complete 50s Masters box set, and It Wouldn't Be the Same Without You was released on the Sunrise set, and they've also been made available on the Boy from Tupelo set in 2017. Sam Phillips had owned the label, Sun Records, and he was very impressed with what he heard. In the meanwhile, he was on the lookout for someone who could bring to a broader audience the sound of the black musicians who Sun mostly recorded. In June, he acquired a demo recording by a guy called Jimmy Sweeney of a ballad called Without You, and he thought that this would probably be good for Elvis. Elvis did come by to the studio, but he couldn't do the song justice. But however, Sam did ask Elvis to sing other numbers, and he was sufficiently affected by what he heard, and he invited two other local musicians, one called Scotty Moore on guitar and Bill Black on bass, who was an upright bass player, for a recording session. So Elvis and Bill went to Scotty's house on the 4th of July in Memphis, and they went through every song they knew in their repertoire, and this consisted of songs from the Ink Spots, Eddie Arnold, Dean Martin and Billy Eckstine. So the session then took place then came the recording session, which then took place on July 5th, 1954 at the Sun Studios in Memphis. What they recorded in the first hour is not known, but according to the CD Elvis at Sun in 2004, in the liner notes, they probably did record a number of other songs, but the earliest known recording that's known to exist is Harbour Lights. Now this was a hit for Bing Crosby in 1950, and this was done in 8 takes, but this wouldn't see release until the Elvis: A Legendary Performer Volume 2 album in 1976. Harbour Lights, in terms of a song, I think it's a good sort of slow song. Scotty Moore plays the guitar well on it, and but as a first single, I don't think it maybe had potential. Then they recorded the Leon Payne song I Love You Because, which was later done by Johnny Cash, and this was done in 5 takes, and this would be released on Elvis's first album in 1956. But Sam kind of felt that the session wasn't really getting anywhere, and kind of paused the session and decided to take a break. While they were doing this break, while they were on the break, they heard Elvis, Scotty and Bill playing an up-tempo song called That's Alright Mama, which was an Arthur Crudup song. He asked them, "What are you doing?" And they said to him, "Well, we don't know." And Sam's like, "Well, back up and do it again." So Sam turned the tape recorder back on, and on they went. And off they went. And they done the song in 4 takes, with take 4 being selected as the master. So they had that song done. So with a song in the can, they saw that That's Alright had the potential to release as a single, and they needed a B-side. So on the 7th of July, they went back into the studio and recorded Blue Moon of Kentucky, a Bill Monroe tune. It's not known how many takes this was done in or what the master was. Now at this point, at some point between the 6th or either the 6th or on the 7th of July, Sam gave copies of the acetate of the song to local DJs Dewey Phillips, who's no relation, of WHBQ, and Uncle Richard of WMPS, and sleepy-eyed John Lipley of WHHM. And he gave it to some Memphis radio stations, and Dewey Phillips played the song on his popular radio show Red Hot and Blue on the 7th of July. When Elvis heard that his record was going to be played on the radio, he went to a local local cinema to calm his nerves. Interest in the song became so intense that Dewey then played the song around 14 times and received a total of 40 calls all over the radio. Elvis was then persuaded to go on the station for an on-air interview that night. What Elvis didn't know was that his microphone was live at the time, and so Elvis answered the questions on the air, including one about a high school which he attended. And then That's Alright officially came out as a single a mere 2 weeks later on July the 19th, with Blue Moon of Kentucky as its B-side, and sold around 20 million copies. This number wasn't enough for it to chart nationally, but the single did reach the number 4 on the local Memphis chart, so it might not have been a big hit, but still it did well. Interest in the song became that Elvis then went on the Louisiana, started performing around Memphis with this song. The first appearance he did was on the 17th at the Bon Air Club in Memphis, where he played both sides of his record. And he was even appearing in places like the Overton Shell Park in Memphis, appearing in bills with Slim Whitman. And his big break came through after the success of the song with the Louisiana Hayride on the 16th of October 1954. He made his first appearance in that song, and a recording of this appeared on this. And then the song got re-released again after Elvis' Sun contract was moved on to RCA in 1955 and re-released as a single. And RCA also released it on the UK edition of his debut album, which was called Rock and Roll. This is not the original version, this is a 70s reprint with a different cover. And in 1959, RCA also released it on this for LP fans only when Elvis went into the army. And it appeared on a number of compilation albums, like A Legendary Performer Volume 1 in 1974, and The Great Performances in 1990. It's also appeared on compilations such as The 50 Greatest Hits in 2000, Second to None in 2003, and this one in 2007, The King. So Elvis played the song live quite a number of times in the Louisiana Hayride in both 54 and 55. It's believed he played it twice in a total of 56 and 57, but he didn't really play the song again after that. But then, when Elvis did the comeback special, returning home back from his in June 1968 at the NBC studios in Burbank, he did it during both the sit-down shows on June 27th, and you can see it on this DVD, the comeback special, which has both the sit-down shows, and he plays That's Alright on both of them. And one of the versions was released on the Legendary Performer Volume 4 LP. And he also played it a total of... He also played it during his 1970 January and February engagement in Las Vegas, only twice. But he opened it in August 1970 on the That's the Way It Is film in 1970. And he also, if I brought it, I don't think I did. No, I didn't bring it. He also opened it on the Madison Square Garden June 1972 shows, and he also performed it on a number of occasions between 1972 and 1977, with the final time being played live at the Rushmore Plaza Civic Center in Rapid City, South Dakota on June 21st, 1977, which was recorded for the Elvis in Concert CBS TV special, just a few weeks before Elvis passed away. The B-side Blue Moon of Kentucky was first released on A Date with Elvis in 1959, and both sides were released on these Sun records, the Sun Collection in 1975, and on the Complete Sun Sessions in 1987. And then in July 2004, it was re-released as a CD single for its 50th anniversary with Blue Moon of Kentucky as its B-side, or the second track rather, and had alternate takes from the session of That's Alright, and this reached number 3 in the UK, so a bit 50 years late, but still better than nothing. And the alternate takes from the session have seen released on the Complete Sun Sessions, this box set, Platinum Life in Music, and A Boy from Tupelo. So so it was released quite a few times. And it's important, and the legacy of this song is Rolling Stone argued in a 2004 article that Elvis's recording of That's Alright was the first rock and roll record. Although many people will say that Bill Haley Rock Around the Clock was the first rock and roll record. Well, I think I have to agree with Rolling Stone on this one. It's been recorded by numerous artists in a variety of genres. Even the Beatles played this on their BBC Sessions on the Pop Go The Beatles radio show. It's also been regarded as a pivotal and important song in the Elvis story, as this was the first record he released. And after the Sun Records kind of went on from being a small label to one of the biggest companies around Memphis, it signed on other acts like Roy Orbison, Johnny Cash, Jerry Lee Lewis and Carl Perkins. So that's kind of the story of the song. And what I make of the song? I really like the song. It's a good sort of rockabilly style song. I like the way the guitar kind of starts it off and Elvis's vocal performance and the wee little guitar solo in the middle from Scotty Moore. Elvis recorded on many other Sun singles like Good Rockin' Tonight, Milk Cow Blues Boogie, I'm Left Your Right She's Gone and Mystery Train, then after which his Sun contract was sold to RCA in the end of 1955. That's kind of it for the video. Hope you all enjoyed it. I know it's a bit short, I could have gone a bit long, but hey, well. Like, comment, subscribe, and hopefully we'll see you for the next video. And the next video will probably be, I am hoping to update my Elvis vinyl collection, as I've got a lot since the last video, but I'm also going to do the 60th anniversary for A Hard Day's Night, the Beatles album and film, quite soon, so hope you stay tuned for them. Like, comment, subscribe, I'll see you for the next video.